The summer nights in Lakewood village were always warm and filled with the sound of crickets chirping. It was the kind of place where the biggest fears were childhood monsters lurking under beds or shadows creeping through the trees. For a 15-year-old named Ava, it was the perfect backdrop for laughter, stories, and brave explorations into the woods that bordered her backyard. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Ava and her friends often dared each other to venture deeper into the darkness, fueled by ghost stories and the thrill of the unknown. One evening, as they lounged around a flickering campfire in her backyard, Ava's friend Sam pulled out a well-thumbed copy of a local legend. "Have you guys heard about the Rake?" he asked, his voice dropping to an eerie whisper. Ava rolled her eyes, but the rustle of wind through the trees seemed to heighten her senses. "What's a rake?" Sam leaned in closer, the firelight dancing across his face. "It's said to be a creature that stalks people in their sleep. You can see its pale skin glinting in the dark, and its long fingers, like claws, stretching out, waiting to pull you into the darkness. If you see it, that means it's already too late." The group chuckled nervously, dismissing the idea as just another urban legend. Ava shivered, glancing towards the dense tree line. "Come on, guys, let's just explore the woods tomorrow instead of sitting here being scared," she suggested, trying to shake off the chill that crept up her spine. The next day, emboldened by their campfire tales, the group decided to venture into the heart of the forest. As they made their way deeper, they came across a clearing where the sun streamed down, creating a warm halo that felt miles away from the ominous stories they had spun. They laughed, played games, and even dared each other to step closer to the shadows where direct sunlight faded. As twilight began to descend, Ava felt an uneasy chill sweep through the clearing. It was as if every jovial note had been muted, replaced by an eerie silence that wrapped around them like a damp blanket. "Maybe we should head back," Ava suggested, glancing around with a sense of dread creeping in. "Don't be a wimp, it's still early," Sam teased, but his voice lacked the usual bravado. The group decided to stay just a little longer, making a game out of their fears. That night, as Ava lay in bed, sleep eluding her, she thought about the stories Sam had told. She had dismissed them easily enough, but a gripping fear began to take hold. With every creaking sound outside her window, her heart raced, and her imagination ran wild. Around 3 in the morning, a strange scratching noise drew Ava from her restless sleep. Like fingernails dragging across wood, it echoed through her room. Her heart raced as she peered toward her window, the faint light of the moon illuminating shadows that twisted into shapes. "Just the wind," she whispered to herself, though the shadows seemed to sway closer, almost as if aware of her presence. She squeezed her eyes shut, trying to block out the creeping fear. Suddenly, a figure shifted in the corner of her vision, pale skin illuminated momentarily by the moonlight. She opened her eyes again, and her breath caught in her throat. A silhouette stood at the foot of her bed, tall and gaunt, with elongated limbs and fingers like twisted, sharp talons. The Rake. Its hollow eyes locked onto her, a void of darkness that sent shivers down her spine. The room felt frigid, and Ava wanted to scream, but terror stole her voice. The creature's face cracked into a grin, exposing rows of jagged teeth, and it slowly reached toward her. In a burst of adrenaline, Ava rolled out of bed and ran, not stopping to glance back. She burst through the front door and dashed toward the woods, desperate to escape. The darkness enveloped her as she dodged branches and underbrush, the adrenaline and instinct to survive guiding her deeper into the forest. A rustling behind her told her it was following. She could hear its breath, a low, inhuman sound that chilled her to the bone. The rest of the world faded as her pulse thudded in her ears, drowning out all thoughts except escape. Finally breaking into the clearing, Ava stopped, panting, glaring back at the shadows where the trees met. But the Rake did not emerge. Instead, silence filled the air, thick and suffocating. She dared to breathe, a lump rising in her throat. Then she saw it. A glint of pale skin behind a tree, waiting, watching. The darkness shifted and shimmered. It hadn't stopped hunting her, it was just waiting for the right moment. Ava turned to run again, her heart pounding, desperate to find her friends, desperate to escape the creature that now haunted her every night. A glimpse of moonlight cast its shine on the path ahead, revealing the way home, but she knew that the Rake was always watching, always waiting, just beyond the boundaries of light. As she stumbled back toward civilization, she understood that the bedtime stories were never meant to be dismissed. They were warnings. Reminders that some things are far too real, and some monsters never truly fade away into the darkness. With every night that passed, she felt its relentless presence, a nightmare that clawed at her very soul, and she knew it was just the beginning of its hunger.